Ooh. What are you doing, Suna? Suna, you crazy girl. Ba, 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 ba. What's she doing, Bridget? Aww. There's that little corner that Freya likes to go into, and Bridget also goes to the corner in the other cage or run, and it's so cute. You will often see them just, I don't know, it's like Bridget is trying to clean Freya's face. You're acting all spaz there, Suna. I love it when they play and they act all stupid. Had a morning of it. Luca, is it your turn? They were doing zoomies before, and you know when dogs, I should have got this on camera, but you know when dogs drop down on their front legs and they drop their head down as if they're playing? Suna was doing that before with Luca, and they were just playing, and it was just so, like, literally like dogs. Crazy. Yo, yo, ba ba ba. Suna, you're being a Cadbury. You're being a Cadbury. Oh, you're being a Cadbury. Ba 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 ba. Ja ba. Ja ba ba ba. Suna is the disabled duck. Pretty much think if I didn't take her in, she would have been a dead duck. It's really disgusting. Some of the chat I hear or read between people who breed birds, not all, okay. You can see her leg there, she's sort of like can't walk on it properly. But they're literally like, if they're not perfect show quality, it's like, oh, the only thing this duck is good for is a pot. It's like, for fuck's sakes, like, oh. I really think it's a good idea, and I really condone maintaining some, not all, some show standards of birds should just be banned because they're cruel. But, you know, some traditional breeds need to be maintained, so for that. But the ones that aren't quite perfect for show standard sometimes actually make better backyard duck pets because they're more hardy. You know, as you know, with a lot of things that become purebred in any way, whether even in cats and dogs, they usually have a predisposition to certain diseases or disorders especially as they age. That, you know, and it's the same with ducks. So, you know, foster them out to a good home, to a family that needs, you know, slug and bug repellent in the backyard and help with the gardening. You know, like, oh, it's good for the pot. Fuck, you know what I'd like to do to people that talk like that? I'd like to put them in a pot, feed them to my ravens. Just because I'm vegan doesn't mean I'm not violent. I just don't like picking on defenceless beings, you know. And people act like they're so tough because they can pick on a defenceless being or a child. Yeah, you know what I want to do to those sorts of people. Who's that, Bridget? Yo, is Freya your BF? Yes, us gingers stick together. Because Freya's a ginger and Bridget's a redhead. Yo. They really do like each other's company, isn't it cute? The duck and the chook. Just like to watch each other. Poor Marilyn, rest in peace. Marilyn's favourite thing to do was, besides looking after his girls, was to watch the ducks. Just be fascinated by them, watching them. Look at her bushy bum. It reminds me of the hind of a deer, you know, with the bushy white feathers and tail going up. Bop, 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 bop. Hello, blackbird. He's a mama blackbird. Oh, my beautiful black beauty. You are stunning. Yeah. Fenrir. Fenrir. Ooh. 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 Pop, 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 pop. Where's Siggy? Where's Sigrid? She's next to you underneath the mint bush. Yeah? Yeah, look at Mr. Freak. I just threw him into the pool before. Oh, here comes Mr. Foreign, the Houdini. Oh, you're such a terror. My beautiful boy. He's so squidgy. He's so funny. Like when you pick him up, he just collapses in your hand sort of thing. He becomes like jello. He's just like, whereas, you know, Freaky, he's just all muscle. You know, he pushes back against you, and well, he's the alpha out of the two boys, and it is just so funny. So Fawn literally just melts into your hands like he's a thing of jello. It just goes all floppy. They really do have unique personalities. Mr. Fawn, you're such a cootie. Yeah, my handsome dude. Yeah, and I really can't have enough of those pop-ups. Oh, a bit of duck yoga. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Doing his cosmic dance or stretching his flipper back. Standing on one leg. Hey. Oh, you getting to a comfy spot? You trying to find a comfy spot? Yeah. They all, you know, look for and find spots and places where they're comfy and can just, you know, chill. There's a branch in the way a little bit. And this little spot here underneath a young gooseberry, which has got to establish, he's literally camouflage. That's insane. My beautiful boy. So this little spot here is somewhere that they all often, these four, you'll see them just all, you know, sleeping tucked up together all snugly there, just chilling in the afternoon sun. Probably the only times that they're really vocal, my birds, is if there's an intruder. Some idiot is looking over the fence. Or when they get sassy because you haven't given them their treats at the specific time that you give it to them on a daily basis. And also when they see food is coming, they get very excited. But that's it. Otherwise, you know, I think there's a bit of a misconception that female ducks just quack all day. They don't. The only time I really hear them quack is when sometimes if they're being chased by one of the boys, and then when food is coming. But they make all these other little noises, like little tiny whimpers and little tiny grunts, and you don't even really hear it. Like the sparrows are louder than those noises. So it's a bit of a misconception that ducks quack all day, and as you know, boys can't quack. They don't have the physical capacity to quack with their vocal situation. They've got like an Adam's apple sort of voice box sort of thing, which makes them do that raspy whack whack instead of quacking. Yo, you going to the hill. That's the equivalent of their little hill. Look at that. Yo. Yeah. And that little noise there that Fendi just made, that one, whoop whoop, bop 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 bop, it's she's communicating with me. Yeah. You communicating with me? What is it, Fendi? What you saying, honey? Bop 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 bop. What is it? You thirsty? Well, you're sitting there in the sun. You go a little bit closer to the trunk of the elder. I mean the gooseberry, and you'll get a bit of shade from the sun. Because you start panting now. Bop 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 bop. Fendry. So she also makes that noise when she wants me to hand feed her water, like basically to cup my hands in water and give it to her. At night when they go into their beds in the office, they do have a bucket of water, but she just, it tastes better if I give it to her apparently. in a cup of my hand instead of her sticking her head down into the bucket to drink. Like, you know, so she'll make that little noise and then she starts panting like she's doing now. She's expecting me to go give her water, so she's got water behind her. She's got the pool. She's got random little buckets everywhere of water, but she wants me to tend to her, so I'm going to go do that now. Miss Blackbird, you're digging up my garden bed. I'm trying to get that going. Hey? Fendry! Or do you want me to spray the sprinkles? Go spray the sprinkles? Yeah? So I'm going to pick this up. So this is like when they're panting there. It's like she's black, so it's pretty hot. Fendry! She's got water. But she wants me to give it to her because she made that little noise before. Alright, honey. You're such a goodie. Yeah. Little secret. Ziggy. My little darlings. Yeah. Let's get the sprinkler going. Hey? Where's the plan? Alright, let's give it a sprinkle. Do I have a hose end with me? I don't think I do. Let's get the hose end. Oh, pop, 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 pop. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a random, just, you know, not talking about any woes of my critters. There's always something going on, you know. Someone injured, someone's not feeling great. Life in general. It's nice to just record nice things. Which is basically just watching duckies do their thing. I'm trying to get this nozzle. Nice and sprinkled. Yeah. Where'd you go? Oh, hang on. I just saw our hawk friend. Here you go, honey. I just saw a hawk fly over. Yeah, guys, I want you to go inside the run. No? I'll hose you down a little bit first. Is that a bit better, Fendi? Yeah. Now I want you to keep an eye out for that little hawk I just saw fly over, huh? Hey? Yeah. You keep an eye out for that little hawk. Yeah. Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Fendry. Doesn't she remind you of like just a walking shadow? You know, it's like she's the shadow of one of the other ducks. Do you want to go into the run, honey buns? Hey? Or you stay over here? That way you're in the sun still. I'm redoing all this. I've been humming and hawing of what, how, and when. Definitely before winter. I kind of want to do I've got to redo the chicken bed or house. They go in there at night, and my ducks, as you know, they come in my house. But I actually want to do something that I can actually block off sight from, say, the fence line side. Because the other thing I'm thinking too is, because of the world we live in, I don't want anyone having the ability to be nosy and look at what I've got and what I'm doing. Because, you know, even if they're not going to do anything to like try and steal or something like that, there's that. But there's also people who are just they get jealous. They do. They see you got something that they don't have, and they can't have it. You know, so they've got aggressive dogs, so they can't keep chickens or indoor ducks or anything like that. So they'll piss on your parade because, you know, they can't have it, that sort of thing. I just get jealous, you know, and it's like, it's really not founded because, you know, myself personally, I make a lot of sacrifices ongoing in order to make sure my birds are fed first, even if it means I go about. That sound there, it's a parrot coming out from a, yeah. You know, so just, yeah, I think I'd also advise anyone with birds, with any of the, you know, any of these critters, that as much as we love showing our critters off, and we like to have an open and trusting society where there's, you know, neighbours and that sort of thing, you'd like to be open and help each other. We unfortunately don't live in that sort of world, and I have to remind myself every now and again that, you know, we just don't live in that type of world. So you need to be careful. And I mean, I know it's just not my imagination. I mean, I've had neighbours go, "Oh, I was just having a look over your fence to look at what you got." I'm like, really? Who the fuck does that? Why? Like, that's just so creepy, you know, and just everything's just wrong. So what I'm thinking of doing is even possibly buying materials to make a shed and doing panels on one side, but using a hardware cloth. So this chicken wire shit, the sparrows go in there, eat my chook's food and yada yada. So basically this is the kind of wiring you want here. Hey doggy, it's not mine, it's next door's. So this kind of mesh, it's a 10mm or 100mm square diameter, and the rodents don't go through that. Sparrows can't go through that. So what I'm thinking of doing is making some sort of shed with panels on that side, fence lines, so the neighbours can't see. Yeah? But then also within it making a compartment, like a wall, so it becomes this sort of bedding and housing and roosting area within the shed aviary. It'll be a hybrid of a shed and an aviary. And the other thing too I want to is an apex roof with actual steel roofing, because what happens is when the weather's really shit, which often is down here in Ballarat, it's bloody cold, windy, raining and deluge, the flapping drives me nuts, also spooks the birds. And I'm sure it's just an annoying noise for anyone hearing flapping tarps, you know. So I don't want that to bother me or neighbours. But then also I've put metal fencing panels, recycled ones, just up there temporarily, but they even flap. And the thing with these flat roofs, they do collect water, and I actually had the roofing collapse on one of these. And now I could do ballast and do some further tweaks. However, I would prefer to have an apex roof so the water runs down. You know, even if I have to put a gutter and channel the water into a pot where I've got a plant, sort of thing. Because I think, you know, we're now in Autumns Lugh. The autumnal equinox will be coming soon, and before winter hits, you know, we've got about 6 or 8 weeks of the mid-autumn tide, and then it's winter. So before winter hits, I really do want to have that set up, because this is going to be toast in winter. And the other thing too is I do want to make it metal, because I just feel like, honey, hey, gentle, you be gentle, don't be a brute, I'll throw you in the pool. Gentle, boys, gentle, yes, I'm watching you, yeah. Can you see how responsive they are to tone? Yes, Mr. Frigg, you are adorable, but you need to be more gentle. Good boy. Yes, you too, Mr. Fawn. You're such a goodie. Yeah. So the thing with metal as well, it's things such as spider mites and that sort of thing, it's harder for them to take hold as they do with wood. Though I will probably have some wood in some areas. Hey, honey. But we'll see. Puppy. Oh, look at those wings. Yeah. You're getting new feathers coming in. Yeah. Oh, he's so adorable. I just love the colour changes of Fawn. He's just stunning. Mr. Fawn. Yeah, very serious silver looking noggin. Yeah. Sorry, that was a retard across the road. Yeah, it's beautiful. Can you see the green on Fenrir? They're all new feathers coming out. Can't wait for her feathers to return. She looks like she's got a quarter of a wing on each side because all the feathers haven't returned yet. But yeah, so I need to get a new drill because the drill I have is not cordless. I also need to get a ladder. I've only got a folding foot ladder. And then by then, so probably I don't know, I've got at least 2 more birds I want to get, and I need to put aside for them, and then we'll see. But before within the next couple of months, expect that I'll have my new drill, my ladder, and then the materials to do at least this run and the replacement of this chook house for the chooks, and then that will free up this material, because I wouldn't mind actually just using these runs as uncovered runs, as, you know, especially come winter, they want to play in the mud sort of thing away from their sleeping quarters. They can go and do that. Also keeping in mind that at some point when I get further out, there's just no way I'm ever going to have my birds out like this without there being full caged in enclosure. Like, you know, even if I have a 10-meter run like this, that's okay, because the predator birds are more frequent. It's just a matter of time. Domestic ducks really cannot be left out in a pond in the country sort of thing. You're supplying a meal for someone. They can't fly. They're totally dependent on your human care. You just can't. Well, you can, but your birds are going to get attacked. You know, and then you need to make sure that your enclosures are really fortified. And I mean, this sort of thing here, you know, you can't. It's not really an eyesore. Especially if the mesh is new and you don't have the junk on the top like I've got, and you've painted it even. You know, usually if you paint it black, it disappears. You can't see the shining silver, if you like. So, you know, none of this will be waste. It'll be reused, tinkered and reshaped sort of thing. But anyway, coming winter, I don't want my birds to be wet all the time, including my ducks. I think that's where people get into trouble with their ducks if they start getting sick, is if they're in the wet all the time and have wet feet and all the time. You know, they need to go into an area where it's completely dry and the flooring's clean and dry. So this is where I think people get into trouble. So you need to be on the ball with the seasonal change and prepare for that. And a lot of this you don't know until you live through it with your critters. There's not a lot of information out there forthcoming in first duck owners sort of thing, arming you with everything. And, you know, the extent of it is how people think of these beautiful creatures as bloody meat. Oh, you'll get this amount of meat and you'll get this amount of eggs, and it's just disgusting. And then they act like they love the birds. They like the birds, and it's like, how can you say that and then just refer to them and meat as meat in the first sentence? Like, what the Anyway, I digress. I was going to do any woes, but I started off anyway, just recording my puppies. Hello. Oh, I love how you walk in a line. It's so cute. Yeah, you're so cordial. Yeah. You Mr. Fawn, he's over there. So anyway, expect to see that. I really want to build polycarbonate greenhouses, but I currently have an issue with a fucking neighbour's, gives my French cat, that keeps jumping over on top of my greenhouse. That's the third time I've had to replace the plastic on that greenhouse because of this little shit. I'm sorry, if you have a cat, pet cat, and it's wandering, it's feral. They kill birds. It's literally wiped out my little population of fairy wrens here. The boys have this beautiful aqua blue head, gone because of this little fuck. And they always have the idiot owners. Oh, my cat doesn't kill anything. They all do. It's part of their nature. It doesn't make them bad. It just makes you a shit parent for not controlling and owning them and keeping them in, you know. You can build a run for them like this sort of thing so they can be outside without terrorising the native wildlife or, you know, non-native wildlife. You know, critters that are wild need to go somewhere, and we need to really protect our birds, whether they're native or not. You know, saying you love one animal at the expense of the life of another is, and then saying blanket that you love animals, it just knows, you don't know. Obviously, or maybe you just don't know what love is. I don't know. But to me, love means if you actually love animals, you have a balanced approach. I mean, when I get further out, I'm not going to have any hesitation on shooting any predator coming onto my property that's not like an eagle or hawk. So I'm talking like foxes or feral cats. They're gone. I can't. You know, you got to protect what you got there. I love foxes, like seriously, my cat's last name is Fox. I absolutely adore foxes, but if they're going to treat your place as lunch, and I think in the States you've got the same issue with coyotes, you got to do what you got to do. I love animals, but you know, when I say that, I actually do. You know, I don't think any genus or species has a right to dominate and take over everything and have no existence for other plant or animal life to exist, which a lot of these sort of pestilent levels of animals that are introduced, usually, not always, sometimes they're not introduced, they're native and they become a pest. You got to do what you got to do, you know. I don't agree with killing animals for sport. I think it's disgusting. I don't like killing animals, period. I'm a vegan. I don't eat them. I don't see them as meat and stuffs. But at the same time, if I need to protect my little brood here, my family, I'll do it, and I won't hesitate. My beautiful boy. Yeah. Pop, pop, pop. I'm a gentle there. What you got, ziggy, ziggy? Ziggy, ziggy, ziggy. Pop, 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 pop. So my battery's going to cut off in a sec. But anyway, I thought I'd just do a bit of a beautiful warm day, bit of a post on this nice warm day of my birds doing their thing, being ducks. With a random few tangents thrown in there. Oh, Fendry, you're just adorable. Fendry here, by the way, the cayuga, is kind of an endangered breed, a wild breed that's at risk of no longer being there. I really would love to breed her kind. And the same as Bella, my silver apple yard. They are facing no longer being around. And they're stunning, beautiful breeds. The cayuga is basically a domesticated version created, named after the Cayuga people in New York before they put up the concrete shit there. Anyway, blessed be and Mary Part.